Right. Welcome back from the commercial break. You're still live on the Firstline morning show here on TV Go in Accra. There's been some new development, as I mentioned earlier. We are just we're going to have a discussion with Hudu Yahaya this morning on the show. So if you have any question, probably a contribution, you might just want to get involved or get interactive on the show on our Facebook fan page, also on our WhatsApp platform, and when I activated the line just for your benefit this morning. Of course, come Saturday, 20th of December 2014, the NDC are going to converge on the Baba Yara Sports Stadium in Kumasi to elect their national executives so that they'll be able to steer the affairs of the party ahead of the 2016 general election. Many are suggesting that, the delegate vote for loyalists, individuals who have been loyal to the party over the years gone by. Do you all share in that same preposition, or perhaps you have your reservation? Well, let's quickly get to talk to Hudu Yahaya this morning on the show. Hudu, good morning to you.
Good morning, sir.
And then
How
welcome.
are you doing, sir?
I'm blessed, and you?
Okay, thank you. I want to say good morning to your cherished viewers.
Right.
Yeah.
Very well. Maybe, someone will say, today is my first time watching Hudu Yahaya on TV, or probably even listening to him. Who is Hudu Yahaya?
This is an exam question. So I will answer it my way I understand the question.
Very well.
Well, my name is Hudu Yahaya. Maybe you want to know me politically.
Yeah.
Yes. I have been quite active politically as a student before, in the 70s. In the 80s, my first time at formal politics was 1982. Of course, when I left university, I was teaching in Tamale Secondary School. I'm a science student by my background is science. I was teaching biology, in the secondary school, Tamale Secondary School. But and I was also equally, active politically on campus. Where I was teaching and outside in the northern region. 1982 February, I was appointed when with the advent of the PNDC, I was appointed deputy regional secretary for the northern region. And in fact, Mr. Ndebugri, Mr. John Ndebugri, who is a practicing lawyer now, and he's also an engineer by earlier training, was my boss. He was the regional secretary, and I was his deputy. 6 months after, he was sent to Upper Region. Then Upper Region, before it was split into two, and I was made to take over as regional secretary. Until 4th April 1988, I was reassigned to the Ministry of Mobilization, which is now the Ministry of Employment and Labor also, which is headed by Honorable Haruna Idrisu. Okay. I was sent to that ministry. Mobilization at that time was the National Mobilization Program, which was headed by Commodore Steve Obimpe. And it was put in place by the PNDC to resettle the 2 million Ghanaians who were expelled, repatriated from Nigeria. And with my good friend and brother, Mr. Potofi, as the deputy for operations. And that was only one of the departments. That ministry also took care of formal labor, Trade Union Congress, which included GPL2 and so on. It also took care of cooperatives. It also took care of Management Development and Productivity Institute, MDPI. Yeah. It also took care of social welfare. And at that time, we didn't have Ministry of Gender and Children, so that ministry took care of all that, So mobilization was one. But the PNDC at that time wanted the ministry to be re-christened because it wanted it also to play the role of employment generation. So National Mobilization Program had mobile squads, which were spread all over the country in terms of getting people into the informal sector, generating their own employment, and so on and so forth. Then in 1990, I was moved to the Ministry of Trade and Tourism.
Okay.
Let me also say that the Ministry of Mobilization, which I headed, also included the Factory Inspectorate Division of the country, where we saw to standards in terms of workers' health, workers' safety in workplaces.
Right.
Yeah. And I will say that actually attracted a lot, took a lot of interest of mine. Fortunately, because of my background in science, I could understand some of those things. So we worked very hard to establish standards and to protect workers' safety, and well-being. Then I was moved to the Ministry of Labor, Ministry of Trade and Tourism in 1990, January 1990. and where I was. And then 1991, additional responsibility was thrust upon me. That is the CDRs. So I was handling both CDRs and then Ministry of Trade together, as minister, full minister, substantive minister. And I worked very well with my colleagues, Mr. Dana Budakwe, who partnered me at Ministry of Trade, and I worked very well also with my brother and friend, Mr. Kofi Potofi, at the CDL Secretariat, where he served as my deputies. Then in 1992, September, when NDC had been formed, we went to Congress, in Cape Coast, September 1992. And that was our first Congress, where I was elected General Secretary of the party. At that time, the constitution of the party stipulated Congress once every 2 years and not 4 years. So, 1994, we had our second Congress in Kumasi, and I was re-elected General Secretary. In 1996, our next Congress was in Sunyani. I was re-elected General Secretary. In 1998, our next Congress, our fourth Congress, was in Sekondi, and I was re-elected General Secretary. In 2000, we did not have elections, but we had Congress, and we elected Prof. Mills, of blessed memory, as our flag bearer. We lost the elections in 2000. 2001, we had the reorganization committee of the NDC to look at why we lost the elections, to look at what was the state of the party and how the party could reorganize itself ready for the future in terms of the next elections, 2004 and beyond. And I was made the secretary of the committee. Dr. Obeda Samoa was, and this was at National Executive Committee meeting, and Dr. Obeda Samoa was made the chairman of the committee. We had other members like our senior, man in the party, Mr. Alhaji Mama Idrisu, he was a member. Honorable Ekos Spilgabra, who is now Minister for Trade, was a member. Honorable Ofosu Ampofu, who was formerly Minister for Local Government, was a member. Madame Faustina Nelson was a member. Honorable Her Excellency Cecilia Johnson was a member, and a host of people. And we went on tour around the whole country. We went to, we started with Upper West, went to Upper East, came to Northern Region, went to Brongahafu, went to Kumasi, Ashanti, Kumasi in particular, and then from there to Kufredwa Eastern Region, then to Western Central, to Volta, and ended with Accra.
Right.
And I put all this report together, and we used this to reorganize the party. And we got all regions to also have reorganization committees, and then all constituencies also to have reorganization committees. This led us to our next Congress, which was our 5th Congress at Trade Fair in Accra, 2002, March in particular. And there I appealed to, I decided to step down as General Secretary, even though I was appealed to stay on. I also then made a cross appeal or a counter appeal that please let me go on. 10 years was okay, and that somebody else could come in and maybe what I didn't do right, the person could write it in the interest of the. Sorry, thank you.
Right. So we having a conversation, Doctor.
Yeah, in the interest. Well, I'm not.
And Alhaji
I'm not yet a doctor.
Forgive me for that, Alhaji Hudu Yahaya.
And at the trade fair site, I decided to step down, as I said, and I went in for the position of vice chairman.
Okay.
And I was elected. The next Congress was in Kufredwa 2005. I again repeated my position for vice chairman, and I was elected. Tamale 2010, there was a lot of appeals from some sections within the party for me to go in for chairmanship, but I decided that I would rather stay as vice chairman, and we had just come in, we had just won elections and come in, so I thought I would stay as vice chairman, and I supported the idea that we should give our colleagues who were at the leadership of the party, the opportunity for them to stay, and then we go for another term. So here I am, 2014. I am still vice chairman, but I am offering myself to the party for the position or the bid of a chairman of the party.
Right. Yeah. I mean, when we say you've been very loyal to the party, and you already have some pluses there. Has that translated into your campaign? I mean, I know that.
Well, I will say that I am humbly offering myself to the party as a resource to the party, for the party to use me in the best way that the party deems fit. What is important is not so much my chairmanship. What is important is the party. My ideal and prayer for the party is I want this party to endure. I want this party to last beyond me and beyond all the founding members of the party. That this party has come to stay and has come to become part, has come to be a permanent part of the political life of this country, to help shape this society of ours into what we desire it to be. You say translating into pluses or minuses, I leave it to the rank and file of the party. And as I say, my policy in party and my policy in politics is we win, not I win.
Okay.
Yeah. And when I was general secretary, my principle and all my colleagues I worked with will bet that whatever we achieved positive for the party achieved it.
Right.
Whatever went wrong, I made the mistake. That is my policy.
Okay.
And I continue to go by this policy. Any task that the party gives me, whatever we achieve positively, the party has achieved it. Whatever goes wrong, I made the mistake. And I admit it and I accept it.
So how is the campaign going?
The campaign is going fine. I'm quite glad that our party is growing into what we wish it to be. The campaign has been civil. The campaign has been quiet and going fine. What I tell party delegates when I meet them, because this is a delegates congress, I tell them, please, this is an internal, thank you very much, this is an internal democratic mechanism of electing, giving the party the best for the moment to lead the party until the next phase. We should not exhaust ourselves because we still have a bigger contest, and which is the 2016. Right. And I keep making this to our colleagues that is an internal contest. It's a brotherly contest. It's a family contest to throw out what the delegates will consider the best to lead the party for the next 4 years. Let's reserve our energies. Let's give the party the best. Reserve our energies for the 2016, which by God will.
We'll talk about, reserving the energies, because we've been told that already people are devising some evil machination against each other and all that. We'll come to that anyway. But in earlier submission, just as you mentioned that you had to make a counter appeal to step down as a general secretary. You've been in the party for quite a long time. Probably you should have contested for the chairmanship way back. Why now?
Well, the 10 years was quite a challenge.
Yeah.
Because that was when the party was born. Putting the party in place, stabilizing the party was quite challenging. It was not easy. Thank God the party was able to make a good job, not me. Yeah, and I took the position of vice chairman, and there were other equally committed people who took the position of general secretaryship. And I was prepared to serve and lend my support in any way to those who took the frontline seats for the party to succeed. In doing party work, if anybody understands party work, and especially for me who has been molded as a cadre, it is always the winning of the party that matters, not my individual win. So I was prepared, and I did that, to work at the background and do any kind of work, however hard, however challenging for the party to move forward. And also in my policy in life, I go by what Mahatma Gandhi told his people. Mahatma Gandhi, the one who led the people of India to independence. He said that in life there are always two groups of people. One group of people are those who do the work. The other group of people are those who take the credit. And he advises people that go in for the first one because there's no much competition. And I always apply myself to do the work. I always go to where duty demands work.
Right. So the question still remains that, why now? Or you think, there's something wrong with the party chairmanship at the moment?
Well, the point is, I wouldn't say that's here. In Chi, they say, "Be may ye be." my
Bema baby.
baby. Okay, my tree is not, okay, my tree is not very.
Yeah, I
not the
understand
best,
anyway.
Yes, I'm very humble to know that, and no one should ever think that he can do everything.
Right.
Definitely, at every epoch of the time of the party, there will be leadership. They will do what the challenges of the time demand, and they will prepare it for the next stage. If I come in as chairman, I'm coming to add up to whatever I've come to meet. I'm not a nihilist that nothing ever was done. No, I'm not that nihilist. I come to add. The party will go, it's 22 years today. The party will go, God willing, to 30 years. It will go, God willing, to 40, 50, 60 years. One individual cannot do it. One team can do it. Everybody comes to add what he can. And of course, society is not static. Static changes. And at any particular time, the challenges of the society will demand new solutions and new ideas. I think I have, as I explained to you, I've acquired some experience from the party. The party has given me that opportunity to acquire some experience. I'm putting at the disposal of the party. It is the party that will know whether it is needed or it's not needed. The party may say, yeah, Hudu, please come in, bring this on board. The party may say, no, Hudu, hold on this. We want you to do this. And whatever the party says I should do, that is where I will go and apply myself. As you say, you asked me the question, I know you still insist. Why now? why now? History, man makes history independent of his will. The challenges of the time maybe has called that I put myself forward. It is up to the delegates to say, yes, it's time. It's up to the delegates to say, no, hold it.
Now, talking about time, I mean, there's a popular cliche that people have been saying every now and then. You don't change a winning team. You don't change a winning team. These individuals you're talking about, your chairman, I mean, and the party executives, I mean, they've done well. They saw the party through a successful election, even with the petition and all that. You talk about delegates laying emphasis on whether they have to give it the time or not. Do you think that with this winning team, you still have a chance in that?
Well, it is not what I think. I don't own the party. The members of the party own the party. And they have given us this constitution at various delegates' congress.
Right.
The constitution of the party says that, first, as I told you, it used to be every 2 years, let's go to Congress. The constitution now says every 4 years, not 2 years.
Right.
As a result of having tested the constitution for a number of years, delegates at a point said, no, let's expand the time from 2 years to 4 years. Okay, based on very recent, decision. The constitution says that every 4 years we should go and renew mandates to deepen internal democracy. So we started branch. We had branch elections. We now have new branch executives in place. From the branch, we moved to the constituency. We had constituency conferences. And I will re-emphasize here that the Constitution talks about constituency conferences and not constituency elections. If we go into the Constitution, what do we mean by constituency conference? That every 4 years, delegates within the constituency should meet and deliberate upon the welfare, how well the party had done, how well the party had fared for the past 4 years. So the general or the secretary at the constituency level will present reports to the delegates, spelling out what the party had gone through, the achievements, the failures, the challenges. And then the delegates will deliberate on the report. And whatever decisions they come up with will be what will now form the agenda for the party for the next 4 years within the constituency. After that, the treasurer will come and present a financial report to the delegates to indicate how the party had fared financial-wise. And that report will also be deliberated, and conclusions and deliberations and decisions will be taken. Before now, they will table elections as regards those who are filed for various positions.
Right.
So it is a constituency conference. It is a regional conference, not constituency elections, not constituency regional elections. We should go back to the Constitution and do that and do the right thing. So now we've gone through the constituency phase, where we have had constituency conferences and new executives have been elected. And I would say that there have been quite a change, at the constituency. That's a number of constituencies have had new executives. We've moved up to the regional conferences, and out of which there have been elections and there has been new executives in place. In some places, some incumbents have been retained. It is now the Congress. And remember that every political party stands on two legs all over the world. We have what we call the statute of the party, and that is the constitution of the party. And then we have the program of the party, and that is the policies of the party, the economic, social policies of the party, that the party rules out to society that should we be elected and given political power, this is how we shall shape the lives of society in terms economically, socially, and others. You know. So the constitution of the party says it's 4 years, open to all members of the party. But it didn't give an open-ended opportunity. It's also, the constitution of the party also has provision in terms of qualifications of office holders. Who are office holders? How do you come to be an office holder? The constitution has spelled it out. Right. And the constitution is what members of that particular political party say how their lives should be governed, how the life of the party should be governed. So it's a constitution. The constitution, if the constitution did not give that opportunity, no one could step forward and say, I want to contest. And the constitution also then goes and stipulates as regards the qualifications of who can be an office holder. It says you must be a member of the party. You must hold a party ID card. You must belong to a branch. You must be active in the branch. You must be active in your constituency. You should be paying your dues regularly. And this is what we term, altogether we put this as a member of good standing. And then the constitution also spells out that you should not have been convicted for any criminal offense. The constitution also says that you should not have been under sanction by the disciplinary committee of the party. The constitution also says that you should have been in the party for 2 years or more. The constitution also says that for national executive position, you should have held a position, lower before, vying for a position to be on the national executive position, national executive committee. I have looked at the constitution. I've looked at all this. I believe, and I'm very, very sure I'm a member of the party.
Very well. And you qualify for that. I mean, we appreciate that. Now, we also know of your experience, as you've been able to outline, just for the benefit of our viewers this morning. But the big question is that, what is Hudu Yahaya bringing on board since you're seeking our mandate?
Well, I have stated it before a number of times to interviews that are granted, that the first and foremost thing is that I will be loyal to the constitution of the party. Right. It's very, very important, because that is a document that regulates all our activities and all office holders and all structures of the party. It's very important. I pledge my loyalty to the constitution of the party. I will go by the constitution of the party. 2, and the constitution of the party also stipulates what structures you will have in the party. For example, in our party, we have what is known as the Functional Executive Committee, which by convention meets almost every week, and it meets in the absence of National Executive Committee. It carries out the policies of the National Executive Committee, because National Executive Committee meets ordinarily once every quarter, but of course it has emergency meetings. And when you are elected a chairman, you do not run like one single horse ahead. You work constitutionally within the structures. Other members of the structures will be elected and have been elected just like you. Right. So you will table whatever propositions you have. Others also will table, and you will deliberate. At the end of the day, whatever you are able to arrive at becomes a policy of the party which you run with. I believe in the structures, and the lower structures, I will give a big impetus to the lower structures, because we say we are a grassroots party. So the structures will have to be in place, and they must be strong, and they must be oiled, and they must function very well. And there must be top-up approach. There must be top-down approach. That is to harness all energies within the party, all ideas within the party, for the well-being of the party. Party financing is also very, very, very key in all party organizations.
Right.
It has always been a challenge. And that is why, so far in our fourth Republican dispensation, there have been meetings of political parties, state intervention in party financing, and so on, which indicates that there have been challenges in all the parties. And in fact, whenever you go to inter-party meetings, this comes up and it is accepted, it's always supported by all political parties, which means that all political party financing is a challenge. It is also something that I will give a big attention to, and I'll put it before my colleagues, right from the below up and from down up down, for us to find a very, very amicable, a very lasting and scientific solution towards this party financing. I am also currently the chairman of the Conflict Resolution Committee of the party, because the party acknowledges that as a political party there will be varying ideas, and sometimes these varying ideas can result in clash of ideas. If we do not find very quick and very scientific solution to these conflicts, they can always deepen, and that can result in cleavages within the party, and resulting in factions. I don't believe in factions. I always believe in party unity. If you go into the history of political parties, you realize that a lot of political parties have been bedeviled by these conflicts. And if you take, for example, the Grenadian situation in 1983 that led to the invasion of Grenada, it was as a result of these internal conflicts. If you take the case of Burkina Faso, where that illustrious son of Africa, Thomas Sankara, regrettably lost his life, it was also as a result of cleavages, or conflicts and clashes of ideas. So it's always very important to have a very scientific approach to conflict resolution, and at the end of the day, having reconciliation and having a united party moving along. We can always achieve a lot through that.
Very well. Hudu Yahaya is the man in the studio this morning on the Firstline Morning Show here on TV Gold in Accra. We are engaging his thoughts, perhaps his chances of being the chairman for the NDC. And if you think you're a delegate and if you believe that he is the man for you, cut out for the job, I believe on the 20th of December, you might want to vote for him on that very day to become your chairman, and also, steer the affairs of the party ahead of the 2016 general election. If you have any question you want to ask this morning, join the conversation on our WhatsApp platform 0240 77227 I'd like to be the line for you as well, then also join with your voice. Perhaps you want to have a one-on-one interaction with him this morning, and he's definitely going to deal with that for you. So now, Hudu, now talk about the fact that the things you are bringing on board to modernize the party ahead of the 2016 election. Now let's talk about your party in general. The NDC, and now they are in power. How would you ascertain the development of the President John Dramani Mahama in respect to improving the lives of Ghanaians?
Well, that's a tall order, because first and foremost, who is John Dramani Mahama? There was that clamor for President Mahama on the radio, airwaves, and so on, for him to come in and partner President Mills.
Right.
Because of who he was, his achievements. I've known him personally and I've known him politically. I think he's a man cut for the job. He's intelligent, smart. In fact, as I say, I've known him personally. He had been ahead of his age, because even before he went into politics, the man was smart and sharp. That any time we engage in political discourse, you realize that at the end of the day, he comes up with smart ideas. He's a very avid reader. He's very broad-minded. He reads widely, right from
and is he performing?
I'm coming. Yes, he has more than performed, and he continues to perform. Of course, in society, you can never reach 100%. You can never reach the ultimate. But I think he's more than performed. He should be given the understanding. Look at him. He is not someone who goes into his politics with brimstone, fire and brimstones. But if you take your time and you listen, you see. He wants always a consensus. He wants consensus building in society, to move along. He is the leader of the NDC. But you see that he is not the person, he is not somebody who only looks at a very narrow, part of the issue. he always wants the broad consensus of society. We are the NDC. We have won the elections, but we have the country to run. And he's always reminded about that. And he always tries to achieve that, you know. He has come out, he's a social democrat. His policies are always social democratic in nature and in content, trying to reach out to the broad mass of the people. He doesn't forget where he comes from. He always remembers the ordinary people. He always remembers the poor, you know, in society. So you'll find that his policies that he brings out, of course, which is from the party's manifesto and which also goes through his cabinet, he tries to get a broad consensus. But largely, he's always thinking about how to bring the mass of the people not to regret for having been born in Ghana.
Does he have the chance of winning the 2016 election?
God willing, he has big chance of winning.
The opposition believes he has failed.
That is what is the business of the opposition? The business of the opposition
To
is
keep the government on its toes.
Okay.
That is their business.
Good.
That is their sole mandate.
Good, and also to let people see, and also to let the people feel that whatever the governing side has succeeded, they have not succeeded. That's their duty. So how will they come in and say he has succeeded? If they say he has succeeded, what is left for them to do? President Mahama, if you look at the educational side, he has charts, he has brought out policies that are broad in nature within society. We have the SSS, his 200 schools are on track. The children, in terms of the package that was sent to Parliament make it available, make education accessible and available to the less fortunate, is there for all to see. In terms of tertiary education, policies are being fashioned out, make it available. For example, if you take the training colleges, we need teachers. We need teachers. He has rolled out a policy that will open up and that will make it available for more to get in instead of being restricted to just. We came in with the the scholarships for the for young people to be attracted to a teaching profession. Fine, it's gotten to a stage where now it is rather even limiting access. So we fashion out. It's made it possible that you can go in and take loans, so that as many more people can go in instead of just restricting ourselves to just the scholarship. I know I've been chairman of the board of the governing council of Tamale Training College. I know what I'm talking about, the challenges. But of course, sometimes you may have to take some difficult decisions for the better good of society. Right now, they've been put, the tertiary education, the training colleges have also been added to have access to taking loans so that more people can get into the colleges, so that we can have more teachers going out to our rural areas, and we can have a better developed manpower for the whole country, not only for the urban areas, but also both for the rural and the urban areas. In terms of health, look at it. We've rolled out the Volta region, in Volta region whole, we now have the School for Allied Health Sciences to roll out more for our health sector. Tamale, the Tamale Teaching Hospital and the medical school, go there now. In the early 2000s, if you had somebody going to Tamale Teaching Hospital, you were to only pray. Even you send the person dies, within 24 hours, you are told to send the person back home because the mortuary wasn't working. Today, we are not talking about the mortuary at the Tamale Teaching Hospital. We have over 130 doctors in Tamale Hospital right now today. We have a consultant urologist. We don't have to come all the way to Kolebu for our urological problems. Even sometimes from Ashanti, people are being sent to Tamale because we have consultants. We have a neurosurgeon for the first time in the life of this country, in Tamale, performing very, very serious, operations. Right. We have specialists right now. So the Tamale Teaching Hospital is now catering for the northern half of the country, giving Kolebu a breather when we all had to run to Kolebu. Right. All has happened right now. He went and commissioned the new facilities that were being added to the Tamale Teaching Hospital. How are we not performing? The Eastern Corridor, routes, I've been to Volta region. They have appealed to the president that work on it should be expedited. Right. If you go from Lepusi, that is towards Willensi, going towards Membela, they've started work. He's left with the from Peki area going towards the northern part. That is very critical, and I must say, and the people of North Volta region have appealed very seriously to the government that it should be expedited.
Right.
It will be, the government is very serious
Right.
and work will work.
No, Ghanaians appreciate all of that, but I mean, the energy crisis that has destabilized industry and domestic lives is what Ghanaians are calling for a solution. And they believe that without the solution, the president has failed because he promised Ghanaians it would be at the end of the
Well, the point is that the energy crisis, and I think VRA, Gridco, and ECG have come on to explain. The government has stuck, through the Minister of Energy, has stuck to the program of addressing this, of adding more to what we have at the moment in terms of the power.
Yeah.
What we have at the moment, all being equal, is just we consume what we are taking. We consume what we are producing. What the government is working on is looking at our energy demand rates, as a people. The government is trying to expand the generation in terms of actual power to add up to it. But the challenge has been with the weather. They've explained it. VRA, Akosombo contributes to about 50% of our total power output. But unfortunately, last year and this year, the rains up north have not been the best. And it is rains up north that flow into the Akosombo Dam. So because of that, we have tried to conserve this, goose that lays the golden egg by not burning it, because the water level has gone to very critical level that if we continue running it as if nothing has gone wrong, we will end up not having an Akosombo. Right. But what the government, led by President Mahama, is doing is that it is seeking to attract, private investors who we call the independent power producers into the system. And thank God, a lot are responding. The other thing also is that if we're not running on hydro, which is the cheapest source of power, then we will have to go on light crude. And light crude is quite expensive. That is why the government has been expediting action on the Atuabo gas, because natural gas is also another cheap source of running our thermal generators instead of light crude oil. The president has just returned from Qatar, where he has gotten some very good deals in terms of goodwill from the Qatarian government and Qatarian business sector, who are coming in also to do, as also independent power producers.
Right.
Atuabo is on stream. The Nigerians have also pledged, in terms of the natural gas to us. So the medium term to long term is for us to have independent power producers coming in to supplement what we are doing at the moment.
Right.
But I say that at the moment, what has contributed to a great extent in terms of the power outages has been the nature in terms of rains up north, which has not been the best, and for that matter, the water level at VRA has been down.
Very well. Now, just from your thoughts on this. This morning, the General Telegraph reports that you're admonishing your party to disengage from tribal politics. I'll come to you and ask you why. But let me share a few of the messages here. This one says, my best regard to Uncle Hudu Yahaya. Hoping delegates would vote for integrity, service, loyalty, and victory 2016. William O. Tete, and you write from Accra. Alhaji, you are simply the best. You are humble, respectful, and a grassroots man. From Honorable Sibak Pong. Okay. This one says, good morning, Parker. I love this man like my own dad. Simply intelligent, experienced, incorruptible, and sociable across all divide. I wish him all the best. Compare his response to questions and other contestants. God bless you, Alhaji Hudu Yahaya. Abdul Sumed from Dabuya. This one says, we love you and wish you well. From Idi Maida. Moving on, Robert Kantam in Boku says, I wish Hudu Yahaya all the best of luck come 20th December. My name is Sule from Mamobi. You are doing a fantastic job. I think John Mahama is the best president Ghana has ever had. Okay. Uh, JDM is a donor, so should Hudu Yahaya wins. So this one says I'm not getting it. Royal fight should end with Hudu Yahaya as the national chairman. He knows the birth of the party NDC. He has worked with all former and present leadership for NDC numerous victories. He will be good for the rural folks, and 2016 be crowned as the president for the country. Okay, Nana Insia Abebio, you are writing from Whittiam. All right, I'll activate the phone lines very soon, but then before I get to the phone lines anyway, Hudu, I was talking about you admonishing your party to disengage from tribal politics. Why?
Well, I will start by saying that society is not that homogeneous. Social,
Who do you are listening to you?
social scientists tell us, and we see it ourselves, that society is not that homogeneous. We may live very amicably, but the fact is that society is either in social classes and in different social strata.
Right.
So as a result of where you find yourself, your interests may either coincide or they may be apart. So because of that, political parties emerge as a result of the fundamental law that there should be freedom of association in society. So as a result of that, people tend to aggregate based on their social interests. And that is why you find in different jurisdictions around the world, you will have in the United States Republicans and then you have Democrats. In the UK, you have the Conservative Party and the Labour Party. In Germany, you will have the Social Democratic Party and then you will have the Christian Democrats. Likewise, if you come down to Africa, in Ghana, before our independence and after our independence, we had the CPP, which was a social democratic party, and then you had the UP tradition, which was a conservative party. Today, we have the NPP and then we have the NDC, based on this social interest. We, NDC, profess social democracy.
Right.
Our opponents in the MPP profess the conservatism, right-wing conservative, or they will say they are center-right party. So we definitely have different views in society based on our social interests or our social experiences. In our party, as a social democratic party, we do not emphasize this ethnicity. And likewise, I think in the whole country, the constitution fronts on being guided by ethnicity, or religion, or social class.
Right.
So I was just reminding my fellow members of the party that we are social democrats. NDC, we don't emphasize ethnicity. We emphasize merit. It's not where you come from. It is what you can do for the country, and at the end of the day, for the what you can do for the party, and at the end of the day, for the country.
Right.
And this is what I was just reminding, colleagues, because there was this issue sometimes north, and so on and so forth. And I just said, hey, let's watch it. We may devise strategies and tactics, but the strategies and tactics helps us to achieve our objective, but not that the objectives will become subservient to the tactics and strategy.
Okay.
If for a particular moment it's just like a football team, you want to win over the so the coach will devise tactics and strategy here. But what I was just reminding my colleagues was that let us not allow the tactics and strategy that we may devise to replace our objectives and ultimate goals.
Very well. Let me just activate the line at the moment. 0277 720089. If you are a delegate, perhaps a member of the NDC, and this morning you want to have a word with Hudu Yahaya, I'll be happy to get through on those lines. Let's get interactive on the show. Do I have my very first call on the line? Hello? Hello? Well, 0277 720089. Let me go back to the messages here. Hello, good morning.
Yeah, hello. Yeah, good morning.
Your name and where you calling from, sir?
Ahmed calling from Accra, Newtown.
Right, talk to us.
Thank you. I'd like to congratulate you, the good work TV Gold is doing to Madagascar, and congratulate, my Honorable Hudu Yahaya. I know he's been my role model since I started following politics. But what I want from my Honorable is that, the leadership of the National Democratic Congress, the leaders refuse to look the grassroots. That's what we lack, especially communication. As I'm speaking to you, I'm also a branch youth organizer. We don't know. You can even run to your office, nobody even recognize you. You understand? So when we want to win election, we start winning election from the branch.
Right, thank you. Point well noted on the show. Thank you. 0277720089. I'll pen them down. You just come to that for me. This one says, I enjoy the education Alhaji Hudu Yahaya is giving us this morning. May the Almighty Allah see him through. All the best to all candidates from Asana Ilyasu Boko. Hello, good morning. Your name and where you're calling from, sir? I'll be happy if you reposition yourself so you can hear you loud and clear, sir.
Hello?
Hello. Go ahead, we are listening.
Yeah. Hello, can you hear me?
I can hear you. Go ahead.
Yes. I want to congratulate the man of the stadium.
But
I know him for the role he has been playing, but I didn't particularly know this is the kind of technique to take like this. It's very, very expensive, very fun.
Well, I think you would have to call back. We're struggling to hear you in the studio. I'm really sorry. Trying to reposition yourself when you want to, get on board a discussion this morning. A message here that says that you are good material anyway, but then he's hoping that you step down for Danak Badapi for Mohammed Tamale. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Your name, where are you calling from, sir?
Please, my name is Akumbanga Edgusu, calling from Bolaga.
My brother, talk to us.
I actually like Honorable Hudu Yahaya. And then I will be very, very happy if he wins this election. But my appeal to him is that anybody who wins, all of us will come together and support the cause of NDC so that victory will be ours in 2016.
Right. Thank you very much, my brother, for that. Moving on to some other messages as well. This one says, I now believe beyond reasonable doubt that Alhaji Hudu Yahaya is the best man to chair the party to victory because 2016 election is not going to be easy. Therefore, the party really needs smart and intelligent politicians like Hudu. I am convinced this morning that you are winning Goro from Temale. Right. Not picking up any calls, and then let's quickly get to one of the issues that the members are actually raising is that the leadership and the grassroots, there is a link, no nexus. A quick comment on that.
Yes, I think they have every right to raise that. Our party tags itself as a grassroots party. And the Social Democratic Party is supposed to be grassroots. If the people at the grassroots are raising questions, we need to look at that. And that is why I said that building the structures will be one of my priorities in the party.
Right.
Because a grassroots party will be strong if at the base, if the base is strong. It will be weak if the top is heavy and the down is,
Sure.
They own the party. When the party was being formed, teams were sent out to all regions of the country to contact and speak to the people in every district. What do they think? And majority of the people said, look, we have to have a people-oriented party. So we came back, and by then, the political parties law had been put in place. And the political parties law demanded that every district, every party that wanted to come into being should have a founding member from every district. So we went back again to every district, to the people, and we met at town hall meetings and told the people, please, select your own founding members who will sign this party into being. And every district had a founding member. We said, don't look at the economic position of the person. Look at the integrity of the person. Look at how the community looked at the people, at the person, whether they respected the person and so on. So people were thrown out. And in fact, some of the people did not even have the 250,000. At that time, it was 250,000 to put down.
Right.
As you know. And the people put the money together for some of them to sign the party into being. So the party is the people's party and belongs to the people. I want to pledge to members of our party that if I come in as chairman of the party, the grassroots, that is the lower structures will have priority.
Very well.
If you're coming in to interact with the party at the highest level, you would have come from the lower level.
Right.
Let me say that our constitution of the party insists that the branch is the basic unit of the party. And every leader of the party has had to go back to his branch to register as a member and collect his card from the branch. There are no cards at the national headquarters.
Right.
There are only cards at the...
Well, thank you for your time this morning. We run out of time anyway, but thank you so much for passing through the show. We are grateful and wishing you all the best.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Right. So if you believe that Hudu Yahaya is the man for you, come 20th of December, try and then probably vote for him if you are a delegate, so that he will set the affairs of the party come 2016 or ahead of the 2016 election. You know, the NPP is no joke when dealing with a party like that. Well, up next, a sport with Moftau. Just stay with us.